Hey runners, welcome back to the Stretch and Stability series. Wow, we're already at episode 16. Keep up the hard work. Hopefully you're feeling the benefits. Okay, let's dive into it. So starting with the single leg RDLs, to set up, we're gonna have the right leg down on the floor and the left foot's gonna come back behind us, and we can just be nice and light on this left foot to start. To initiate this movement, we want to hinge from the hips. So we want to try to avoid rounding the spine. As we come down, we want to reach the hands down to the floor and allow the back leg to elevate behind us. We can allow for a soft bend in the right leg. So I'm just going to come down here, reaching down to the floor, keeping that back leg relatively straight, and then coming back up. Now, I want you to stay within a range that is comfortable for you. So if you get to this position here and you feel like in order to go further, you need to collapse with the spine, just stay here and come back up. Okay, so we're just going to try to improve this over time, or you can try to improve this over time. So with that left leg behind, let's go for 5 reps at in a range that's comfortable for you. So with that foot on the floor, reaching down to the floor, soft bend in the knees. Now, if you want to take this further, you can reach forwards. But for now, I'm just going to stay with the hands down to the floor. So that's 1 rep. Let's go again for 2, 3. Just like we've spoken about before with the toes, try and feel like you're gripping into the floor to try and create that stability through the ankles. So really squeeze the toes into the floor. And we're coming into our last rep on the right side. And that is 5. Good. Let's go on the left side. So set the base foot, that's the left, allow the right leg to come back behind you, resting on top of the foot, try to keep a relatively straight leg with the back leg, soft bend in the knee with the left leg, reaching down to the floor, hinging at the hips, trying not to collapse with the spine, coming down as far as you feel comfortable. So don't try and push your range to the point where you start to dump in and collapse in. Always think about trying to keep the angle of the chest forwards. So that's 2. And remember, you can take it further by reaching forwards, but for now I'm just going to stay with the hands down to the floor. That's 3, 4, and last one, 5. Good. Okay, that concludes your single leg RDL. We will come back to it. We're now going to go into a curtsy squat. The curtsy squat is focused on strengthening the outside of the hip, which is crucial for creating stability. So what we want to think about here is keeping the right foot on the floor. We want to try and touch the left knee to the outside of the right foot as we go down into a squat. So I'm squatting down with 1 foot and I'm trying to touch my left knee to the outside of the right foot and then come back up. I'm going to go on the right side now. So I'm trying to touch the right knee to the outside of the left foot and then come back up. Now, beginner variation, we're rolling from the top of the foot all the way up to the knee and then lifting up. If you want to make this a little bit harder, you can try to just tap the knee to the floor and then come back up. Okay, we'll stay with the beginner variation for now. Let's go for a total of 10 reps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, really try and get the knee to the outside of the foot. 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Good. Okay, we're going to come back to our single leg RDL. So remember, we're starting with 1 foot back behind us. So in this case, we've got the left foot back. You're resting on top of the foot. Remember to hinge from the hips, so we don't want to round with the spine, and then we're either reaching down to the floor or making it a little bit harder by reaching forward. So keep the hips nice and square, and then hinging from the hips, keeping a soft bend in the knees, and that's 1. Think about keeping the chest above the knee. 2, and keeping the chest upright. 3, 4, last one, 5. Good, let's go over to the other side. Very soft bend in the knee, starting on top of the right foot, hinging from the hips, lifting up with the leg for 1. Allow for a soft bend in the knee with the base leg. 2, 3, 4, and last one, 5. Good. Cool. So let's come back to the curtsy squat. And as I always talk about, we're trying to now introduce the contralateral movement. So after we tap the knee down to the floor and we bring it back up, trying to introduce that contralateral movement. So the left knee, in this instance, will come up with the right hand. So going into the curtsy squat, and we're rolling from the top of the foot, tapping the knee down to the floor. And then as I bring the knee up, I'm bringing my right hand up with the motion, okay? Then we can go over to the right side, tapping the right knee to the outside of the left foot, lifting it up, bringing the left hand up. Okay, let's go again. So right hand up with the left knee, over to the other side, left hand up with the right knee. So because we're now going on both sides, there's a lot more to think about. So in previous contralateral drills, we've just worked one side at a time. So we now need to focus on finding the right side with the hand as we drive the knee up. Okay, so remember it's left knee with the right hand, and then right knee with the left hand. Okay, let's go for 6 more. So we've got 1, 2, almost messed up there, 3, 4, 5, and last one, 6. Good. This section is focused on the spine and the hamstrings and a little bit into the hip flexors. We're going to start in a half kneeling position. So we're going to step forwards with the right leg. We're going to have the left leg behind us. And then we just want to find a stacking of the knee, hips, and shoulders. And then with the front leg, we want to have the ankle directly below the knee or slightly in front of the knee. From here, we're going to find an engagement in the glutes, tucking the pelvis under. So try to eliminate any rounding or arching in the lower back. We want to try and come into more of a tucked position. From here, we're going to push the hip forwards, trying to keep a nice upright posture. So I'm thinking about driving my right knee over my right foot, keeping the engagement in the glutes, keeping the chest upright. Some of you, your range of motion might only be to here, and that's totally fine. Okay, so keep that engagement in the glutes, keep trying to tuck the pelvis, and then we're just going to hold here, getting a nice release into the hip flexors. There's multiple hip flexors. And then from here, we're just going to fully extend the right leg and try to just fold forwards a touch. Okay, we're trying to fold forwards with a neutral spine, so with a flat back. So for some of you, you might just be up here in a nice upright position. Okay, from here, we're going to plant the foot down again. We're going to drive the hip forwards, keep the chest upright, pushing forwards with the hips. Think about driving the right knee over the right foot, trying to tuck the pelvis under. And then we're going to go again, extending that leg, trying to get a little bit of a fold if you can, but not to the detriment of the position of your spine. So we're trying to keep a nice flat back. And again, let's push forwards. And extend the leg. Now you might be more comfortable just walking that foot forwards a touch. Just play around with it and see what's most comfortable for you. We all have different dimensions. So here, hinging, trying to keep a flat back. Some of you might be up here, totally fine. And then pushing forward again, keeping the engagement in the glutes, releasing into the hip flexor. Thinking about driving the right knee over the right foot and then extending again. So this is a great movement, targeting both the hip flexors and the hamstrings. So super efficient. Pushing forwards, keeping the engagement in the glutes. We don't want to just collapse here. We want to be nice and active, extending, folding. And hopefully as you go through this, you should feel that your range is increasing, even ever so slightly. Okay, let's do one more hinge, folding forwards. Nice, and then let's swap sides. So setting up by finding that stacking of the knee, hips, shoulders, and head. And then here we've got the ankle directly below the knee or slightly in front of the knee, and you can adjust that if it feels more comfortable for you. And then we're finding that engagement in the glutes, trying to feel that tucking of the pelvis, so trying to roll the pelvis in and up. And then from here, we're just going to push forwards. And like we did on the other side, we're just going to hold for a little bit here, trying to get a release through the hip flexors, keeping the glutes engaged. Nice. Okay, and then let's go into that hamstring extension. So straightening the left leg, folding forwards with a flat back if you can. If you're upright, that's totally fine. We're just trying not to round here. And then we're going to come forwards again. Engaging the glutes, driving the hip forwards. And then extend the leg, try to fold forwards. And remember, you can walk that foot forwards a touch if it makes more sense for your body. You'll feel where is right for you. So pushing forward now with the hip, glutes engaged, extend the leg, fold forwards. Good, let's do 2 more. Pushing forward with the hip, keeping the glutes on, keeping the chest up, and then extend the leg, fold forwards, and then last one, push forward with the hip, engage the glutes, and extend the leg, fold forwards. Good, cool. We're going to go into some scorpions. This is focused on creating a twist through the spine and releasing into the QL. So this region here in the lower back, it's the muscle that connects the pelvis to the spine, crucial for creating stability in motion like running. So it gets particularly tight. So we want to lie on our front, and we're just going to bring the hands out to the side into a T shape. And then from here, I'm going to start by bending the right knee, and I'm going to feel like I'm reaching that foot across the body. But as I do this, I don't want to lift up with my upper body. Okay, so I'm bending the right knee, and then I'm reaching across, and I'm trying to keep my upper body flat down on the floor. So my arms, my shoulders, my hands are down on the floor. I'm just going to turn my gaze towards the direction that the leg is traveling. Some of you might be here, some of you might be nice and high and right over, which is great. And we want to keep the toes pointed and really be strict with your form, so don't create that fake range where we're just lifting and rotating. We want to try and create that twist through the spine. Okay, let's go over to the other side. So turning the gaze now the other way, bending the knee, lifting up, reaching over to the side. Now, as you do this, we want to try not to just come straight across. We want to also try and think about driving the knee up towards the ceiling to create that extension through the hip. And over to the other side. Turn the gaze to the left, bend the knee, reach up and across, lifting the knee up towards the ceiling, keeping the arms, shoulders, hands flat down on the floor. Good, and then we'll go over to the left, turning the gaze, reaching over to the right with the left leg, pointing the toes, lifting the knee up. Good, and then coming back, reaching over to the left now, lifting up with the knee, pointing the toes. And let's do one more. Bringing the left foot over to the right. Oh, nice, stop there. Good. Okay, we're going to go back to our hips and hamstring sequence. So coming into that half kneeling position. So we'll start with the right leg forwards. Now, if you remember here, we've got the ankle here directly below the knee or slightly in front of the knee, just to start. And then we've got the hips, knees and shoulders and head stacked on top of each other. Create that engagement in the glutes, tuck the hips under, and then we're just going to push forwards. Keeping the chest upright, and then we'll extend the leg and fold forwards. We can move a little bit faster now, so drive the hip forwards. That's 2. 3. So as we hinge, we're trying to keep the back flat. Even if that means our range is reduced, let's try and be good with our form. Last one. Good, let's go over to the other side. So walking the left foot forwards now. So the ankle is just slightly in front of the knee. We're finding that stacking here with the knee, hips and shoulders and head. And then we're pushing forwards now with the right hip, keeping the engagement in the glutes. And then we're extending the left leg, folding forwards for 1. 2. Glutes active as you push forward, chest up. 3, 4, and last one. 5. Good. Let's go do the scorpions again. So come down onto your chest, arms out to the side, and remember we're bending the knee and reaching up and across. So let's start with the right side. Bend the knee, reach up and across. 1. Let's go over to the other side. Moving a little bit faster now. Still trying to really reach up with the knee. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more. 7, and last one. Really drive the knee up. 8. Nice. Cool. So coming down onto your backs. And then in this position here, I just want you to place the right foot on top of the left knee. From here, I want you to bend the left leg and then try to take a hold of the left thigh with both hands and pull the leg in towards your body. And you should be feeling a stretch on the right side of the glutes. Okay, so we're just going to hold here just to get an initial release through the glutes. And we're just trying to pull that knee in as far as we can towards the body. And we're just going to hold here. You can also think about pushing the knee on the right side away from you, just to deepen the external rotation in the hip, which is going to deepen the stretch through the glutes. We'll do 10 more seconds here, and then we'll go over to the other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Extend both legs. And now we're just going to place the left foot on top of the right knee. We're going to bend the right leg. We're going to pull that leg in towards us, so taking a hold of the right thigh, pulling that knee towards the body. And you should be feeling a nice stretch through the left side of the glutes. Just holding here, trying to relax and just allow it to be a nice passive stretch. But if you do want to go deeper, you can just think about pushing that left knee away from you. Really try and pull that knee right in towards the body. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay. We're next going to go into a 90-90 position. And again, we're going to be focusing on creating length in the glutes to create that recovery and restoration in the glutes. So to create the 90-90 in a seated position, we want to create 2 90-degree angles with the legs. So I think about this right leg, I'm dropping the right knee to the floor, and we're looking to create this 90-degree angle with the thigh and the lower limb. We're going to try and find the same on the left side. So you can see I'm creating this 90-degree angle with both the right and the left leg. From here, I'm going to try to turn towards the right leg, keeping the chest upright, and then I'm going to fold forwards. Now, with this initial progression, you're going to keep the hands on the floor as you walk forwards, and I want you to just find a point where you can hold without collapsing with the spine. So some of you might be right up here, some of you might be nice and deep, getting the chest to almost touch the knee, but wherever you are, we just want to hold there and try and relax. Okay, so we're getting that chest to be positioned over the knee. So we try not to be in here, try and get that chest over the knee, and we're just going to hold here, getting that nice release in the glutes. And the more range we have in the glutes, the more range we're going to have through our hip external rotation as well. So we're also working a little bit on that. Okay, so just holding here, trying not to dump with the spine or collapse with the spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now to transition, we can just do a little rotation over to the other side, and then turning towards the left leg, keeping the chest upright, hands on the floor. We're just going to hinge forward a touch, trying to keep the chest upright. And some of you are going to have different ranges here. Some of you are going to be right down with your chest to your knees. Some of you are going to be more up here. But what we're trying to look for is not rounding with the spine or excessively rounding with the spine. So we're trying to be a little bit more upright, and we're just going to hold here and feel that release. And remember, we're trying to maintain that 90-90. We're trying to keep this hip also forward, so try not to be rotated back here and just holding here. Good. Let's do 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, we're going to repeat both exercises, but we're going to make both more dynamic now. So coming down onto your backs, finding that first position. So we're going to bring the right foot on top of the left knee, and then we're going to pull that left knee in towards the chest. We'll just do 10 seconds holding here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to drop the left foot down onto the floor, bring the hands out to the side, and then all you're going to do is just drop that left foot down towards the floor. And you're only going as far as you can go without lifting off with the upper back and the arms and the shoulders. So we want to keep that grounded on the floor, that part of the body grounded on the floor. And then coming back up, and then we're just going to move through this dynamically. Now, what we want to look for here is we want to have the left heel right up towards the glutes. So in order to get that stretch through the right glutes, we need to have the left foot as close to our body as possible. So really pulling that in. And again, just to reiterate, really try to keep the upper back, arms and shoulders on the floor as we move through this. So hopefully as you drop that right foot down to the floor, you should be feeling a nice release on the right side of the glutes, or the right glute. And we'll go for 3 more. 3, 2, and last one, dropping that right foot down to the floor, keeping the upper back grounded on the floor. 1, good. Okay, let's go over to the other side. So we're going to bring the right foot on top of the left knee. We're going to pull the knee in towards the body. We're going to start with that initial hold for 10 seconds, really pulling in. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the right foot down to the floor, and then remember we want that heel to be right up towards the body, and then we're going to rotate over to the side, keeping the upper back on the floor. So moving more dynamically in this position now, hopefully feeling that release through the glutes. Remember to keep that right heel right up towards the body. Okay, let's go for 3 more. 3, 2, and last one, dropping that left foot down to the floor. 1, good. Okay, let's go back to our 90-90s, and then we're also going to move dynamically through this position. So finding 2 90-degree angles with the legs, and then if you remember, we're rotating towards the right leg, and now we're just going to hinge forwards and move up and down over that right knee. So try and keep the chest tracking over the right knee, and we're using support from the floor. Now before you go, if you are more advanced, you can take the hands off the floor here as you go down. I'm going to demonstrate with the hands on the floor. So let's go for 10 reps. So dropping the chest down towards the knee for 1. Again, don't worry if your range isn't the same as mine, but try to just keep the chest upright. So try not to round in and close in with the spine. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Chest is tracking over the knee. And last one, 10. Good. Come over to the other side. Finding the 2 90-degree angles with the legs. Both hands for support if you need it. Some of you might not need it. You might be able to go without. Chest is tracking over the knee. We're doing 10 reps. Let's go. Try not to collapse with the spine. That's 1. 2. 3. Really pull that right hip in. 4. 5. 6. 7, 8, 2 more, keep it up guys. Really try and keep the form, try not to dump with the spine. 1 more, and 10. Nice, good. Okay, that concludes our section on the glutes, focusing more on restoring the glutes by creating length in the glutes. Well done, runners. Hopefully you're feeling the benefits after today, feeling more mobile, more stable in your body, and hopefully this applies to your running. See you on the mat soon.